Yes, you can. Oh, goodness. Where do I begin? Well, I tell you what, we're 3-0, and it's hard to win. As I was walking, I was getting updates from scores around the country, so it's just crazy. I actually got this stat this morning where they said there were, I think, 16 non-Power 5 teams won on the road at Power 5 schools. Okay, that was before today, so that's in the first few weeks. So, man, it's just a lot of good players. I think the dynamics of things now has kind of spread out some of the talent a little bit, maybe. But all I know is we play a good football team. We knew that going in. They got a lot of weapons on offense, and we still, we're not playing our best football without question. But the bottom line is you try to find a way to win. And we've made a huge emphasis this whole spring and fall camp on blocking kicks. And Coach Randolph, our new D-line coach, has really brought a really good attitude about that. And our guys have bought into it. And you didn't see a bigger one than you saw right there at the end. And I told Fitz, if you would have lateraled it to me, I would have scored. And so he kind of cut it back and got tackled, so he'll learn his lesson. But I thought he might go the distance and get us a win and as a walk-off block. But, man, just offensively did some good things. Still did some things we got to get better at. And lost our starting center during warm-ups, which is crazy. That no ever had to happen in the past before. Caleb Murphy comes in and plays every snap, and did awesome. So just we'll see more about the Carp situation, but hopefully get him back. But bottom line was he couldn't play, and you just got to get those kind of things to you in the last second. You just got to adjust. You just don't blink. So proud of this team. Ugly at times, but found a way to win the football game, and we got a lot to learn from and a lot to build off of. Questions?
To start with what you guys did on defense, obviously they got 545 yards, had some moments.
That stinks.
What, I guess, when it was going wrong, what did you see that was going wrong?
The thing that they do that really makes it hard is you try to balance, the pass game fits, or where you're trying to, help us in the pass game and also stop the run. And so trying to borrow back and forth, and they do a good job of stressing you in that area, and put a lot of stress on us a year ago with that. Thought we had some good answers, had some bad fits on a couple of those long runs. I just really disappointed in that, to be honest with you. That's probably the most disappointing thing. They're going to get some, but I will say this is what I told guys all week long, guys. They're going to get some yards. Just keep from scoring touchdowns. Make them kick field goals, and then we go block the field goal, okay? So we still didn't do it. We're not trying to, be bend, don't break against these kind of teams. I'm not saying that at all, but there's a level of just recognizing what they can do, and you just got to get in that score zone and choke them out and force them. They got to get takeaways, which we finally got 2 in the second half, which were huge. And then also, and I thought we dropped a pick there in the fourth quarter. It would have been a huge one, but just force them to kick field goals. So did not do a good enough job, and they got some tempo things at times. And we got some signals. We were trying to do some things to speed things up, and a couple times, for whatever reason, our guys didn't get the right signal. And so we had to make an adjustment to that, make sure they could see the right signal, and try to even get our guys giving us signals to change some things with that. So that was a little frustrating, but give them credit. I mean, Coach Houghton's done a phenomenal job with that offense, but I told our offense we need to score 30 points, and we scored 33.
I think they completed something like 26 of their first 32 or 28 of their first 34 passes, and then they were like, I'm looking at here, 4 of 10 in the fourth quarter. I know a little bit of it is probably them trying to bleed the clock some, but it just felt like did you feel that maybe pressure was getting home a little bit more?
It was.
A little
that
bit
was
more.
Key, and like I said, there's always this balance, because everybody said, you got pressure quarterback. Well, that's great, but then you end up playing man coverage all the time. So we're trying to balance that between some good solid zones. So that was where they were doing a lot of quick stuff in the beginning, which is hard to get to them, and it's a high completion percentage passes, which is what you just pointed out. So a lot to learn from without question, but it's a unique style of offense to defend. It's very difficult to defend, and that's why number one offense in the country a year ago, and they're on track to be up there again this year. So they're going to give a whole bunch of people a lot of issues.
Hey, Coach. You talked about it a little bit, but last 6 possessions, they go interception, field goal, fumble, field goal, and then the 2 missed field goals. Obviously, they got some yards 3 times inside your 10, and they only get 6 points. I mean, I know you're not pleased with everything, but just how great was it to see your defense, a hot day, a lot of plays, really bone up there at the end when they had to make plays and get stops?
Yeah, it's character. It's grit. It's LEO. It's just fighting for the guys around you, playing for the people that you work so much you spend so much time with and care about and execute with. So obviously we got to get things cleaned up to get down there. But we do spend a lot of time in that part of the field to be great in that area, because we know if we can force field goals in those situations, we have a chance to win a lot of ball games. So, but it's a mindset. The guys got an edge about them. They were tired. It was hot. That was our first day game, as you know, and it does feel different playing at noon when it's about 85 degrees. So playing a lot of snaps, but that's why I play a lot of guys. And I will say I do think playing a lot of guys is a great thing, but we still got some younger guys that are still making some mistakes in those second reps, and we got to get better at that, and we will. But at the same time, that to me kind of showed up a little bit. But the bowing up in the score zone, which is inside the 12, and then the red zone there's from the 25 to the 12 for us, the way we define it. But our guys did a great job playing great football in that part of the field. And you listed all the stats, so that's what you got to do. Like I said, we got to prevent them from scoring touchdowns, make them kick field goals, and when they do that, go try and block it.
Coach Connor was obviously in a much better rhythm today early than waiting to come on late, which proved to be very beneficial. The running game still lagging behind a little bit, but 12 guys you throw to. Are you going to try to integrate the lack of a running game more into that and use more guys in that type of a running shoot style?
Yeah, we rushed for 120 yards, so we'd like to get a little more than that. 150 would be a good place to be. And I would say there's no doubt, and you kind of mix things up to kind of take some pressure off there with that, without a doubt, But to me, it's just whatever they're giving us, we want to try and take it. And, to me, I felt like we just dropped some balls that were key, that hurt us, and I felt like we just didn't finish drives, So, but how we move the ball down the field, I'm not going to get caught up in what kind of yardage it is, what area it comes from. We definitely need to run the football. I get that. We did have some good runs, and but they were doing some things at times where we got to have some good answers for that and not get caught in some bad calls, and we know that. We've already talked about that since during the game here quickly at the end. So it's just continuing to grow as a team, and to me it's about finding a way to be the best team, and the best team is all three phases coming together, and that's what you saw with getting that big stop there at the end, forcing the field goal, forcing the block, and then being able to get a 51-yarder as time ran out. So to me it's definitely no doubt are we saying that we are pleased in some ways with some things we're doing right now. We got to get better, but you just got to continue to fight. I love the grit of this football team, love the perseverance and the way they fight and the way they find a way. So it's hard to win. Said that already once before, but proud of these guys for once again trying to be really, really good. I see down there the red zone scores, and Chad, we were 6 for 7 as a team, and that's what it comes down to. And we got to find a way to finish drives out, and whether we're running the football, throwing the football, we'll take whatever they give us.
Coach, on Charles's game-winning field goal, I guess just what's everything you remember from watching that and kind of the ensuing celebration?
I don't remember much about it, so I remember that he crushed it. It was going to be from about 60, and I will say this. So you do play the way you practice. I don't know if I said this to in this group before, but last Thursday, Charles missed 2 field goals on our Thursday practice, which he never does. And he missed 2 in the game, and only 1 didn't count because of a penalty. Okay, and so we use that to talk about. And I got on Charles about that, how it just sets the tone even in that practice. So everything that we do matters, right? And so I was hard on him, but that's why he got the game ball. Because today, when this team needed him the most, and that's what we talk about in special teams, you be at your best when it counts the most. That's one of our DNAs for special teams. And he is his best. He kicked, was it 4 field goals today? Is that right? He kicked 4 field goals. He kicked 3. Okay, so he kicked 3 field goals, and obviously the last one was the biggest one. And so that's what I remember about that kick. The bottom line was that he responded in a situation where, it's hard. He's a good kicker, but there's a lot of pressure. We just had a huge play, all the momentum. He wanted a chance to finish the game. And so I threw my headset off, I threw my call sheet, and I just started running after guys. That's the only part I do remember. And I lost my shoe in the process. So, but you know what? You just work so hard. I'm completely exhausted and proud of this team. It's not 1:30 at night like it's been the last couple of times we've been doing this. So I'm sure you guys are all excited about that as well. But at the same time, I will say this though. There's a plan here to keep our fans in the stands. And if I figure if we make come down to the final play, they got to stay, right? And so they got to stay. And so that's the alternative. Now, the bottom line is I'm proud of our team and proud of Chuck. And he's a great, great kicker because great kickers make kicks like that when the team needs them. So proud of that guy.
Coach, I'm curious, 3 games in now, competition's about to kick up into a new gear. What for you is the biggest area that you want to see improvement of that you've seen from the past 3 games that just won't cut it when you get to Big Ten?
Well, I think defensively stopping the run, okay, that to me won't cut it. I think we have to continue to tackle better. I felt like we got, they get you in space. I get that. I talked about, before the game that tackling was going to be big because of the way they make you play. And then stopping the run, which we, did up to halftime. And then at the second half, we gave a couple of long. But one of those was a complete misfit by one of our backers that has to make that play. It goes from either a 1 or 2 yard gain to a 50-yard run, which is inexcusable. So, but that to me would be the big deal. And then I think offensively, we can't drop the ball. We got a lot of talented receivers. I want to see those drops. They're too huge, and be able to consistently run the football when we need to and do a great job with that. I think those things stick out. I'm proud of our offensive line. Like you said, losing Zach to start the game was tough. Now, obviously, you don't have Matt, so you got 2 guys that are out of there that you're counting on in your 5, but at the same time, we don't blink. And I'm really proud of our guys that stepped up as a whole group, and Parker Hanna for sure, and man, so proud of these guys. And I just can't, Caleb Murphy, how about that? Comes in there and plays every snap of this game. And I'm so proud of him. And kid, he just cried when I hugged him after the game. This means so much to him. This program, this university, he's from Indiana, not that far away. First player from his high school to come play at Indiana, and it's just an awesome thing. And so it means a lot to him to be playing in these games with the Indiana Hoosiers on his chest. So guys like that make this special, and I'm so proud of him, and he's just going to keep getting better too. He's a young player. We move from defense to offense. So that's what I think when I think of this team.
Just kind of big picture, you talked about it a little more specifically, but how do you kind of weigh some of the mistakes that your team has made the last few weeks versus just getting to 3-0 and knowing that you can get even better?
Yeah, that's the kind of the beauty of it. So we talked about this week that positivity, optimism, and belief give you a competitive advantage in this world and in the game of football, okay? Because most people are pessimistic and negative, okay? That's just reality. And so to me, it's how you want to look at it. And I get it. We're going to be very critical of how we played. We're going to do a great job holding our guys accountable for getting the little things right, okay? But be able to do that with understanding that we found a way to win 3 football games at this level, which is not easy to do. I think we beat a really good Illinois football team. I really believe that, And so obviously Idaho was last week, and then I thought we beat another really good football team this week. And Idaho, to me, they're going to win a lot of games at their level. So is it going to get it done as we move forward? No, we know that, okay? But here's the deal. You play them 1 week at a time, okay? We put all our energy in to get ready for Western Kentucky, and that's what we did. Okay, and we found a way to win that football game. We got to get better. I get that. I understand that, and that's going to be the focus. All the things that the film teaches us. And the exciting thing is we're 3-0 with a lot of things to improve on. Okay, I don't feel like we're not even close to playing our best football. And so we did have a better start. Okay, but at the same time, we got the middle part. We had a great finish again. We're really strong in the fourth quarter. And I'll tell you what, we made a big deal about that this whole offseason. We're going to dominate the fourth quarter in our conditioning and our execution. And our guys believe in that. And so we've talked about that. We've talked about that. And so I'm really proud of that part of it. We got to make sure and we understand as this season progresses, it's going to take 4 quarters to beat really good football teams on a consistent basis. That's what we got to do. Appreciate you guys. Have an awesome day. Elio. 3-0.